Hello, friends. What you're about to listen to is a very special episode of Mistconceptions. What you're about to listen to is the beginning of a crossover series between two shows, Mistconceptions and Sins of the Father. Now, this crossover series takes place after episode 77 of Mistconceptions and episode 2 of Sins of the Father. So, in case you haven't listened to either of the shows up to that point, you may get spoiled with information in this show. Just wanted to let you know, enjoy the crossover episodes. See you in the mid-roll. Yay!
She sounds so official.
I know.
She's internet famous. What do you expect?
You need the Disney Channel wand.
Yeah, the Disney Channel.
And you're watching the Disney Channel.
Have you seen the video? Somebody traced like what they're actually drawing with the wand. It's not that.
Oh, it's terrible.
I would be awful on the Disney Channel. That contract would get broken so fast. They would just be like, Marla, you can't even what?
Can you stop drawing dicks? Come on now.
On the Disney Channel. That's Mickey's dick. Hello, friends. My name is Marlo Bogus, and you're listening to the Misconceptions podcast.
This episode opens up in a city. A city filled with towering skyscrapers and squat buildings wedged in between them. We see cars filthy with puddle water and grime and soot driving down trash-filled roads and streets. We see different people walking to and from their daily lives. But inside each one of these people is a mythical force, a mythical nature that connects them to something bigger, to a larger story. And as the camera pans over this city and ducks down into one of these streets, we see three people walking along the sidewalk of one of these streets, making furtive glances around them, kind of on their tiptoes, almost like they do not want to be seen. But as the camera comes up to these three people, go ahead and describe yourselves. What do the audience see?
So you see a... y'all really wanted me to go first? I know what I look like, David. I don't know how to use words. You see a blonde-headed woman who looks like every other woman in the universe. Walking with a group, and she has leggings on and a long shirt that she has tied into a knot at her waist, and tennis shoes, and she's got short blonde hair and sunglasses on as she looks around her and looks towards her peers, her friends. I'm gonna say friends. She looks towards her friends.
Esther is redheaded medium length hair, but it's in a bun under a hat. She's got a jean jacket on with a black t-shirt and some dark wash skinny jeans and tennis shoes.
Bill is nondescript. I'm just kidding. Sorry. Bill is an older man, but not like super old. I guess to kids he's old. He has surprisingly pristine skin, almost as though magically scrubbed of ink.
Yeah.
He wears a button-up shirt with his sleeves rolled up. Some standard kind of what are those stupid pants called that
Jeans.
everyone wears? No.
Jeans.
They're blue. They're denim. I can't think of what they're called. So yeah, we'll just say he wears blue jeans and some worn out penny loafers.
I'm really concerned with what pants you cannot recall.
It's gonna drive me crazy. There's
Like
a name
Slacks, cargo
No.
pants, sweatpants,
No.
Khakis.
khakis,
for them. There, no,
khakis.
The
Oh.
cowboy things.
Wrangler?
no.
Hammer pants.
It's gonna kill me. No,
The
Parachute pants,
The-
bell bottoms,
the ones that go over your pants.
no.
Boot cut.
It's gonna drive me crazy. I hate you. What are they called? Chinos. Chinos.
Chinos.
Anybody know what chinos are?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They're khakis.
Okay. No,
They're khaki jeans.
because khakis have to be khaki.
No, they don't.
Chinos can be.
Not necessarily.
Oh, hold on a second. Hold on a second.
That's right, listeners. This is what you're here for.
Search it.
So you're
Yeah.
telling me that the namesake of khaki pants
Yeah.
is not what khakis have to be?
It's dumb.
Now
Now it's
he-
true.
Now he's gonna look it up and he's gonna bombard our Discord chat.
Are we saying that khakis is a brand and not just a
No,
color?
a style. Are we saying
It's
a style?
Khakis is a
It's not a
style.
brand.
Okay.
Yeah, can you have gray khakis? Listeners, I'm glad you joined us for this crossover fashion episode. So, we see these three people walking down the sidewalk,
You just see Bill's character, like, the pants keep, like,
switching out. Like somebody's like swiping on an iPhone to select
Yeah.
different pants for Bill as he's walking.
It's a character creation screen.
Yes. It is definitely a character creation screen. But he ends up with some chinos and penny loafers and a button-up shirt.
I'm glad I didn't say banana hammock because that was what I was
Oh god.
Whenever you're naming different pants.
Yeah.
So we see these three people walking down the street, and it is early evening. So traffic on the sidewalk is light, but traffic in the street is heavy. And while you three are walking, why? What?
It sounded like she's neat on the, what is it, and a freak in the sheets.
A Jedi on the streets and a Sith in the sheets, baby.
Yeah.
And me and Carrie both like did this. Look at each other the minute you said.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So as y'all are walking,
We need to get off the street. We can't just be walking down the sidewalk.
Are we going back to the warehouse?
Yeah.
The warehouse is fine.
Well, we're gonna have to be on the street to get to the warehouse.
Well, let's go to the roofs and I'll create a bridge.
Esther just squints.
Esther, we've done this before.
I know, it just seems counterproductive.
Well, how would you like to remain hidden?
Same way we always do. Which is not always the roofs.
How else do we remain hidden other than not going out?
It's nighttime, so we stay in the shadows.
Well, I definitely thought it was morning, so if it is nighttime, then
It's
early evening.
okay.
then you are correct.
We duck into an alley.
Okay. You duck into an alley, and as you do so, Faye, your phone starts to ring.
I answer it.
Okay.
Hey, Faye, it's Mohammed. Do you have a second?
Of course, Mohammed, what's up?
Well,
Esther throws her hands in the air like, aren't we supposed to be getting off the street and moving along and you're going to stop and answer your phone? She doesn't say all that. She just has her hands in the air like...
her gestures are very verbal.
For the first time in the series, Faye stops, turns to Esther, and rolls her eyes.
Oh. How the tables have turned.
Bill steps between Faye and Esther.
To de-escalate the situation. Yeah, so Mohammed keeps talking.
Yeah, well, I knew you wanted me to... Okay, hold on a second.
Mohammed, are you okay? Do you need a healing potion?
No, I'm fine. I've got a cold. It's been hitting me for like 2 years. Anyways, I have a contact who's been keeping an eye out for the rat pack activity. They saw some people acting kind of shady in an alleyway right off of Andre Boulevard. They seem to be awfully short and wearing brown hoodies. It's kind of weird. I'd check it out myself, but Woodard and I are currently staking out a swindling councilman. Once we catch him accepting bribes from the pharmaceutical reps that have been buying him off, I'll rush over to help with anything that needs doing.
Okay, that's great. And where did you say they were?
They're in that alleyway right off of Andre Boulevard.
Okay, we'll go grab them. Tell Woodard I say hi.
Will do.
Alright, bye.
Adios.
And as you hang up the phone, we transition to Andre Boulevard. You see the alleyway that Mohammed had alerted you to, and you see there is a beat-up car with mismatched colored doors and mismatched tires parked on the street. You see some movement in the alleyway, but from where you are, you can't make out details. What do y'all do?
Hello?
You say hello into the alleyway, and the movement stops.
Faye takes some small steps cautiously forward.
Okay.
I'm on the roof.
I am standing with my back towards the alley so that I can see if anything's coming.
Okay. Like, are you standing in the alley or like up against the wall?
Up against the wall
Okay.
with one leg bent.
Nice. Very iconic. Mm-hmm. So, Faye, as you step into this alleyway, and Bill, from your perch up on the roof, you can see into the alleyway, and you see, like Mohammed described, you see these figures that are very short, and they are wearing brown hoodies. But as you kind of look, they're not exactly hoodies. They look more like burlap sacks that have been thrown up over their heads. And you see some taller people with them. These people look to be adult-sized. Oddly enough, one of them is wearing huge shoes, like comically oversized clown shoes. And you see them all kind of talking and mingling about, and behind them, you see a well. A stone well. Seemingly plucked out of a fairy tale story, slapped in amongst the trash cans and trash bags in this alleyway. And from the well comes this mist. The mist that is always pervading this city. And you three have encountered such wells before. But you see these figures, about a dozen of them, mixed between the adult figures and these small childlike figures in burlap sack hoods. But you see these about a dozen or so figures. What do you do?
Faye had been going into the alley under the assumption that there were just 3 Rat Pack children. So she had been like in her teacher kind of mode, like bending over, walking slowly and cautiously, and the minute she sees the adult figures and the well, she straightens up and pulls her maypole just at the ready. Not aggressively or anything that anyone could tell, but she has it in her hand. And she...
When you say maypole, what does that mean? What is happening? Remember, you're describing your character as if for the first time.
Thank you. Yes, so Faye has a maypole that is basically an extendable staff that she can use for fighting and combat. And so basically she just kind of holds it maybe a quarter of the way extended in her palm, so she's feeling the edge of it right on the center of her palm, and she's ready to fling it open if need be.
Okay.
And she whispers into the comms. There's a well and about a dozen people. It looks very similar to the time we all passed out in the water treatment plant. Bill, can you get a look from the roof?
Yeah, I want it. Bill is going to maneuver around the roof, trying to look at it from the other side of the entrance of the alleyway, where I'm kind of looking over them.
Yeah.
What do I see, David?
The same thing, but I would say from your perspective, you see one of these adult figures is like stuck midway between helping one of these smaller figures out of the well.
It looks like they're pulling him out of the well.
What? Do they look aggressive? Or scary? Dangerous. Dangerous is the word. Do they look dangerous?
I mean, I'd have to get closer. Hold, 1 second. And with that, I have to get used to these new powers, David.
Yeah, you do.
Because I was like, I know exactly how I would do this with my tattoos.
Yeah.
I can't. I could just throw myself down. All right, and with that, Bill attempts to look for a way down and hopes he finds a fire escape or something, is what Bill attempts to do.
In the city, there's always a fire escape nearby.
Perfect. So I sneak my way down the fire escape to get closer to these people to see if I see any discerning marks or symbols on the clothes that they're wearing, to see if I could maybe hear the things that they're saying to each other.
Definitely. I'm trying to think if this would be an investigate or sneak around. I guess it would come down to, like, what is your purpose? Are you trying to be sneaky, or are you trying to get information?
Well, here's where it gets very confusing, because I'm trying to get information while being sneaky.
Okay.
I'm being sneaky.
Yeah. I would say go ahead and roll and investigate. So what tags could you add to this roll?
Ooh, this is not going to be good. All right. So I get one tag per logos or mythos.
No, you can use as many as you want.
Right.
Just put a cap at 3.
Okay. Well, let's say I add 2. I'm going to say risk taker and stay focused.
Okay. So go ahead and roll 2d6 with +2 with an investigate move.
Oh. All right. So I got a 7 total.
7. Okay. So on a 7 through 9, you get 2 clues. What are your 2 clues? What questions do you want to ask me?
The question that I want to ask you is, are there any discerning symbols on the clothing of the people that would clue me in as to what faction they're a part of, right? Like, I know. Yeah, that would be my first clue in what I'd be looking for. And the second clue I'm looking for is, what kind of things are they saying that I can hear that can give me insight into what exactly it is that they're doing?
Okay, so as you kind of lower yourself down onto this fire escape and start tender-footedly coming down the metal grating, you hear... first of all, let's answer your first question. What do you see? You see, like I said, these burlap sacks thrown up over these child-sized figures. But underneath the burlap, you see bright colors. Jackson, could you tell me what color they would see?
Let me pull up the picture. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
These are Jackson's brainchildren, by the way.
You have your choices of green, red, and yellowish. colors.
Okay. Could I say there's a mix of those colors?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So you see, nice. So underneath the burlap sacks, you see alternating colors of red and yellow and green. That's what you see on the child-sized figures. On the adult-sized figures, the most notable thing you see is these huge clown shoes on one dude, and they have hoodies thrown up over their face. But I think as you're looking, you see one of these figures, their jaw is protruding from out underneath their hood, and you see like the street light glint off of their chin as if off of metal. And that is what you see. What you hear is these small childlike figures making grunting noises, and especially the one that's being pulled out of the well. And you hear one of the adult figures say, "Welcome to this side. The boss is going to be ready to see you soon." And then you hear one of the childlike figures, "Came a long way. Ready to get started." And that is the snippet of conversation you hear before your new powers, which you don't properly have a hold of, flare up. I'm going to use the 7 through 9 option to expose you to danger, Bill, because as you are listening, you take a misstep on one of the steps. You are so used to your old powers, and once you lost those powers, you realized that, like, your feet used to barely touch the ground, so walking now feels clumsy to you. And as you're taking a step down, you catch your loafers on one of the stairs, and you go to stumble, and as you just reflexively reach out to catch yourself, your powers flare up, and you feel this wind start to circulate around you, and it pushes you up and out over the alleyway into the air, and you begin to fall down towards the alleyway right into the middle of all these figures. As this is happening, there is a loud cling as Bill like flies off and hits the stairs and the metal grating as he flies out into the air. Faye, you see this. What are you doing?
Can I see... I imagine there are plants in the alley.
In the city, there are always plants in alleys.
Appreciate it. Okay, so I'm going to say, like, you know how on the edges of an alley there may be, like, weeds and stuff? Esther's already rolling her eyes at me. I'm going to create a hammock, basically, for Bill to fall into.
Ooh, interesting. I think... Oh, gosh, do I want to make you roll for this? Gosh, I don't know. What do you think? Is this a change the game because you're trying to give Bill a benefit? Or do you want to, like, use help points to, like, aid him on his face danger roll? Or are you just literally just trying to catch him?
I just want to catch him.
Okay. I can't think of, like, a mechanical, like, if you fail, this will happen. So go ahead, describe for us, what does this look like as Faye creates this vine hammock for Bill?
So Faye is kind of on the other side of this group that Bill was on. And so she sees all of this happen, and, like, instant panic sets in, and she takes a step forward and grounds herself. And you see the weeds on either side of the alley shoot up and then kind of arch over and connect. And think of, like, the really kind of small leaf weeds that are softer. And so they, like, mesh together, and as Bill falls, they would, like, give way a little bit, and then he would be in this hammock of weeds.
Yeah, so you conjure this clover and vine hammock. Bill catches, and it bends a little and then goes back up as Bill is in this hammock suspended above everybody else. The figures in the alleyway look up and then look at you and then look at the vines that have suddenly come out of nowhere above them, and they start to scramble towards you, Faye. Hello, friends, and welcome to episode 1 of Misconceptions Cross Sins of the Father, a world-spanning crossover event between two titans of actual play podcast material. How was that? Was that good? Do you think we can put that in the theatrical release trailer? Do you think can we do it now? Anyways, welcome everybody. I hope that you are having lots of fun listening to this crossover episode. It was a lot of fun to record. In fact, recording these crossover episodes was the most fun that I have had recording in quite some time. It was a blast. I am so glad that you are finally able to listen to it, and I hope that y'all will really enjoy it. And because of the nature of this crossover, combining two different shows, the release schedule for this crossover series will be a little bit different. Of course, the first episode you are listening to right now is on the Misconceptions feed. Episode 2 will be coming out on the Sins of the Father feed. Episode 3 will be on the Misconceptions feed. And Episode 4 will wrap it all up on the Sins of the Father feed. And I hope that you stick around for all 4 of those episodes, as they will be releasing every Monday through the month of March. Except for the 29th, because I already said there's only 4 episodes. There's 5 Mondays in March. So the 29th, there's not going to be an episode, because it was just 4. There's only 4 episodes. This arc is 4 episodes long. Also, I just wanted to say, happy anniversary, everybody. It is Misconceptions' 4th anniversary. We have been doing this show for 4 years. And it's crazy to think that all this started just because Tessa, Zach, Jaime, and I sat down one Halloween night to play a random adventure of a random game that I'd found on Kickstarter. And now look at us, the longest running City of Mist actual play podcast. We have a new D&D podcast. We have grown so much. We have met so many people. The stories that we have been able to tell because you have made it possible for us to tell them. Thank you so much for listening to Misconceptions, for listening to Sins of the Father, for giving us the drive to continue to make this great content for you to listen to. Happy anniversary, everybody. I didn't get a card because there's too many of you. However, what I did get everybody was a special anniversary gift. Throughout the month of March, we are going to be running a pre-order on a special poster that will commemorate this crossover event. This poster was designed by Arthur Tien, who you might know from his amazing artwork on Monster Prom, the fun monster dating sim. But he did the art for our poster, and he took the characters from Misconceptions, the characters from Sins of the Father, and he also took some side characters from both shows, and he put them together into this poster to make it this amazing theatrical looking poster that is so cool. Like I said, we are going to be running a pre-order through the month of March in 2021. So if you're listening after March 2021, sorry, this pre-order deal is kind of done. But if you would like to pre-order this poster, there is a link in the show notes. Go ahead and click that link. It'll take you to a Google form, and fill that out if you would like to order one of these posters. Unfortunately, right now the only orders we are able to process are PayPal orders. So if you don't have a PayPal, we're sorry. We can't really send you one of these right now. But maybe in the future you'll be able to get one of these, because the idea I have is for us to take the proceeds from this pre-order for the poster and to put it towards finally launching our website. Launching a website where all things Misconceptions and Sins of the Father can be found, and also where a online store can be found, and this poster will be in that store. So if you don't get in on this pre-order right now, hopefully we'll get enough money to make a website and you can order it there. And also, there will be a lot of other cool Misconceptions and Sins of the Father merch for you to buy at that store. That will be revealed later. So if you want this poster, it is so cool, you guys. It is so cool that we got Arthur Tien to make this poster and bring these characters to life in a new and fun way. If you want this poster, click that link, order that poster, and help us launch our website to celebrate our 4th anniversary. As you know, we also have a Patreon, and we are currently trying to get to $500 a month on our Patreon. At that level, we are going to be able to pay Marlo and Tessa and myself for the episodes that we edit and for the work that we put in after hours to make this show sound as good as it is. And Marlo is the editor for Sins of the Father, and she's doing the editing for this crossover series. So if you like the sound effects and the music that Marlo's putting in, and you think that she deserves a pay raise just like I do, go ahead and go to our Patreon. Help us reach our $500 a month goal. And speaking of our Patreon, I have 2 people I would like to give a very special Patreon shout out to. The first being Mike Sterling. Mike Sterling, thank you so much for supporting us, and also thank you for having a very cool 80s action hero name. Hey, I'm Mike Sterling. I'm here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of ass. Did I nail it? Was that a good impression of you, Mike? I hope it was, and I hope that you know how much we appreciate you supporting the show. I would also like to give a shout out to Jesse Harder. Jesse, I've heard so much about you and I have yet to meet you. Jesse is a mutual friend, we have a mutual friend, and they're cool. And anyways, Jesse, I'm so glad that you are enjoying the show. Thank you so much for supporting our show, and I hope that we continue to make awesome content that you like. Thank you to all of our patrons, past and future and present, for the dedication to this show that you have and for the money that you give us every month so that we can continue to make this show and continue to make this show better and better and better. Well, that's enough out of me. I've rambled on way too long. Let's get back to the crossover episode.
Esther hears the commotion, and so she sticks her head into the alley, what?
Hey guys, what's going on?
No, not really Mickey Mouse as much as she's like, what the hell, man?
Mm-hmm. So. You stick your head in, and you see this about a dozen figures rushing towards Faye, and you see Bill lounging in a hammock.
I put my hand on my gun that's at my waist.
Okay. They continue to scramble towards Faye.
I'm just wanting to see what happens, but...
Okay.
When you say scramble, do you mean
eggs?
Am I seeing 12 people running at me like the beginning of a war scene in a movie where both sides are like, whoa!
Yep.
Okay. In that case, I am going to run to the edge of the alley. And arguably, there is a business. They've planted bushes right outside, and I'm going to extend the bushes to be a wall at the end of the alley.
Okay. Let's do a go toe-to-toe, because I think you're trying to outrun your pursuers right now.
Okay.
So 2d6 plus what tags will you use for this?
Do you want me to try to build the bush yet and use those tags, or
no? Let's do it all this.
Tags?
Yeah.
I'm going to.
Well, no. This whole roll will be you trying to get outside and create the wall of bushes.
So, acrobatic mastery.
Okay.
Plant growth. I got a 12.
A 12. Please describe for us how you deftly avoid your pursuers.
Since I'm already kind of in that panic mode of we haven't made ourselves aware, Faye sees everyone turn and start running towards her, and she turns and starts running towards Esther and yells over the comms, coming your way, which is not that far. So Esther probably hears it in person. And she gets out of the alleyway and like spins next to Esther as the bushes like close off the alleyway. And then she casually leans back, mimicking Esther's stance of one leg up against the wall.
Esther turns to her. Flying under the radar, huh?
Yeah, it didn't go as planned.
Meanwhile, on the other side of the bushes. Meanwhile, on the other side of the bushes, Bill, you are suspended above the alleyway, and some of these smaller figures turn up and look at you, and you see them like start grabbing for things inside their cloak, and they're shouting and like pointing up at where Bill is suspended, and you hear them gibbering and shouting to each other. What do you do?
Okay. Did I land on my back in the hammock or on my front in the hammock?
However you want to.
Oh god.
There's
there's no graceful escape from a hammock, as many of you.
There's really not.
So I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna get out of. I guess I will see these tiny and adult figures scrambling to do me harm and say, "So no chance at diplomacy then." How do they respond to that?
Get him! Get him!
All right. So I guess it can't hurt at this point. If the wind powers got me into this mess, maybe they can get me out. So I'm gonna try to get up and stand in the hammock without falling down, and then kind of levitate myself or bring myself back over to the fire escape so I can get myself on solid ground.
Okay. Why don't you roll a take the risk to do this? These powers are new.
We're just trying to get things messy.
Of course. That's the only way something happens in City of Mist, is if you roll a less than 7 or a 7 through 9.
I'm going to vote for Marlo to do the next thing and not the Wizards of the Coast because they failed me in their dice rolling out. So, okay, I'll use Elemental Mastery, and we're trying not to use the same thing over and over, right? For sequences. Okay, so so I'll just have a +1.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I rolled a 6.
All right. So, Bill, as you try to push yourself off of the hammock over to the fire escape, how do you not get there?
This makes narratively, I'm glad that the dice are doing this because it makes sense. It really does. Brand new powers. Who does? So I will say the kerfluffle starts when I stand up in a hammock and I'm immediately like leaning back and forth. I wish the listeners could see my video feed, but they can't. So I'm like leaning back and forth, trying not to fall, and I just basically kind of fall forward towards the little people and the big people. And in haste, I try to kind of push myself over to the fire escape. But as I'm like falling and spinning, I actually don't remember which way that is. So I actually push myself over the other direction, and I launch myself exactly the way that I wanted to into a brick wall. So I hit that, and then I can kind of slow my descent, but it's just a slow tumble towards these angry little creatures.
Okay.
And that's what's happening.
Yeah, so you smack into the wall and fall down, and as you're falling down, you hit the ground, and these small figures swarm over you, and you see them produce knives and start just stabbing at you. I want you to roll a face danger against a, let's see, this is, let's say a cut up 2 status. So what could you add to avoid a cut up 2 status?
Tattooed tower shield.
Nope.
I'm going to use martial arts, and I'm going to try. Oh God, this is difficult. I'm going to talk my way out of anything and use martial arts when they're distracted.
Hey guys,
so
why don't you put those knives away?
So oh no! So I feel like any group of people, you can get to pause for at least half a second by screaming "Hold on" a bunch. And then I'm gonna take advantage of that half a second to tumble out of the group that's encircling me, and then we'll figure out what we're gonna do after that when the time comes. But I'm trying to get out of immediate danger.
Yes. Please roll face danger with the +2.
Okay. There's no way I can roll a 5 3 times in a row. I mean, I know that's a gambler's fallacy.
Now you said it.
But, haha. Okay. So I got a 10.
Okay.
I got a 10.
So describe first how you tumble out of the way.
Okay. So I see these little creatures producing their tiny knives, and I just put both my hands and I scream, "Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on."
And they all come to a stop.
And then I tumble back and push up over the little, I don't know how tall they are. I'm assuming not very tall. Kind of over the back of them, and I just kind of start running away a little bit to gather my bearings. So that's evasive maneuvers.
Okay.
That's what happens.
Yeah. Meanwhile, at the mouth of the alleyway, we see one of the adult-sized figures kind of take this huge flourish and jump towards the bush, and as they come, their hands go out to the sides, over their head, come to the waist, and as it comes from their waist, they are holding a burning torch, it looks like. They hold it up to their mouth, and as they exhale, this flame flares out towards the bush wall. Faye, your bush wall very quickly is starting to go up in flames. What do you two do, Esther and Faye, at the mouth of the alley?
Esther pulls her gun out at this point and points it at the person with the flaming torch.
Okay, so we have this scene as the burning bushes fade away, we see Esther standing at the mouth of the alleyway with a revolver pointed directly at this person.
Give me one reason not to shoot. She normally
I don't think he has a reason.
But
yeah.
Too late. The bar explodes.
I'm really trying not to kill these people in case they're the children that are supposed to join us.
Well, that's why I said give me one reason not to shoot.
You see one of the hooded figures produce like a rifle from their back and point it at you and say, "You give me one good reason."
Pop off a shot, but not one that's meant to harm.
Okay, so you're going to shoot somebody, but you don't want to give them owies.
Well, I don't know that I'm actually gonna like aim it at somebody so much as I'm like just firing off a shot.
So are you trying to intimidate them?
No.
Are you trying to intimidate them not to attack you?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
Just think of what happened to Hamilton's son. That's all I have to say.
Oh my gosh!
Well, okay, I don't.
He needs his pistol at the sky. Wait.
I feel like Esther would shoot, but I don't want to mess up the story.
Nope. There's no way you can mess up a story that we're making together.
It's character knowledge versus player knowledge.
Yep.
Just do it.
Esther shoots.
All right. This sounds like a hit with all you've got.
I'm gonna use my rifle, my gun.
Your rifle? I got a rifle too!
I'm gonna use my pistol.
Esther just starts pulling giant guns.
We just keep escalating the situation as we pull out different firearms from our
She
backpacks.
pulls out a pacifist rifle.
I pull out my gun.
Yes.
And,
Now I'm thinking of the Looney Tune-esque situation where we just keep pulling out, like, my disintegrating ray!
I guess that's really the only bag.
All right. Roll a hit with all I've got with a +1.
9.
A 9. So you're hitting them with a tier 1 status. So gunshot wound 1. And as you shoot, that person that talked to you. Damn. whenever you first attack, don't look at my cheat sheet. Whenever you first attack this character, you take a gunshot 3 status. So as you shoot at him, he pulls it real quick, fires at you. You take a gunshot wound 3 status.
Yeah, I know.
And the person with the burning torch in their hand flourishes again and then takes a wide, sweeping breath to encase both you and Faye in a plume of fire. I would like both of you to roll a... face danger against an extensive burns 3 status.
You're gonna kill Esther first 4 minutes.
Esther doesn't die. Is it 3 ticks or 3?
It is up to 3, the number 3.
I want to use my acrobatic mastery.
Okay.
1, to roll out of the way. 2, if I could knock Esther out of the way with me, that'd be great.
If
But
you
I
want to
think you're
do
not gonna let me
that,
do
use
that.
a help point.
I don't know if I have one. Hang on, let me check.
I
Because I think
I am almost certain that you used all of them for that
did.
very big thing.
And you didn't let me give her
Nope.
one last time because you're the worst. So,
Oh, thank you.
so just +1.
Okay.
And I got 6, not a 9. That's 10.
10. Okay. So you tumble out of the way of the plume of fire. Esther, what about you?
I have to. I'm gonna use my wings to try to like dodge it, like go up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. Can I? It's been a while. Can I react before it happens and jump up?
Yes. You may react before it happens and use your giant owl wings. So face danger with a +2.
Does my gunshot wound play into this? Did he shoot my wing? Damn it.
You did not shoot your wing, damn it.
Thank God. Okay. So that's doesn't count.
Nah, it does count. Doesn't matter.
Oh my gosh, Carrie. I'm so
Rolled a
sorry.
5. I rolled a 3. I got it.
Okay. So as Faye tumbles out of the way expertly, Esther
I
wings...
shoot my wings out,
Yep.
and they end up in the flames.
Yeah, so you are encased in fire. You take a, what did I say?
Something. I think it was
Extensive burns 3 status. So as Faye tumbles out of the way, Esther is on fire. Bill is tumbling away from these people with knives. All of a sudden, there is the sound of rushing wind. Bill, you feel it first. But it is as if this entire alleyway is filled with a strong gust of wind. You turn around, you feel your clothes being grabbed by the wind. You turn around and you see the mist is being pulled back into this well. Faster and faster and faster. And Bill, you feel yourself pulled towards the well. You try to grab for something to latch onto, but you can't. And you grab onto the well as you are being sucked into it, and then here comes these half-dozen tiny figures in burlap sacks that boom, 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 pile on top of you, and they pull you screaming down into the well. Esther and Faye, from where you are in the well, this wind is pulling you faster and faster. Bits of trash and litter is being pulled into this well. You see these adult figures kind of grab onto trash cans, grab onto the side of the wall. Esther, as you are screaming and flailing with the flames, you barely notice as the wind catches your wings and pulls you towards the well, and you disappear into its depths. And Faye, how does Faye get sucked in?
Faye, seeing everybody else go in, especially seeing Esther on fire, being ripped by air, runs with.
Okay, yeah, so you run past these adult figures that are holding on, and you jump into the air, kind of going maybe into a dive, as if you're flying into a pool. You go with the wind current and disappear into this mist-filled well, and the camera follows you and goes into blackness. And as the camera comes back up, Jackson.
Do you feel really cool right now after doing that?
What?
I was all relaxed.
I'm so relaxed.
There's a small source of light that pops up out of the darkness with a very familiar voice.
Litany!
As we see 3 children, not 4, are standing ankle deep in the sewers of a city on the run from the city guard itself. And seeing the dark surroundings all around them, you watch as the little wizard boy faints.
I look at Rickett as he falls to the ground with a splash. You see this, the camera focuses on him, and as it pans up to this, you see these like brown leather boots up to these brown leather pants and this white flowing shirt. A braid comes down over the left side of her chest, and this very lanky, sort of awkward looking teenage girl bends down. The camera follows her face. She's like, he fainted. What else did we expect, huh?
Next to her is a bit taller, copper-scaled dragonborn, wearing very fancy clothes, albeit a little wet and a little bit tattered in places from diving into the sewers here. Just leave him. He's just gonna slow us down.
Leave him? We can't leave him.
Why?
Well, I mean, if they catch him, they'll put him in jail. Or worse.
Why should I care?
Well, if it was you that fainted, would you want us to leave you?
Well, no, but... fine.
I sort of slide my arms up underneath his to kind of up under his armpits to kind of pull him up, so that at least his head is above the water. Sort of brush the whatever yucky has gotten on him off of his face and look at him.
Oh, not sure I can carry him very far.
Fine. And I hook an arm underneath one of his armpits. Kind of lift him up a little bit.
Yeah, I'll take the other side.
And as this little boy is lifted up out of the water, you see a little pale boy with huge, thick, round glasses, curly, shaggy red hair. He has khaki riding breeches and leather boots. He has a blue riding cloak over his shoulders. He has a wizard's cap that is exceedingly too big for his small child head. And next to him, floating in the sewage, is a huge spellbook and a wand that is faintly, or brightly, I guess, brightly glowing at the tip. And as you pull Rickett out of the water...
where are we?
Oh, good, you're awake. Get up, and I let go of him.
He immediately falls back into the sewage.
I think Yavalia hasn't let go of him, so she kind of stumbles and falls with him into the sewage too.
I'm sorry. It was a lot.
Yeah, it's okay. Let's get moving though. We don't know what's down here, do we?
I would assume that there is rats down here. Hopefully there's nothing bigger.
Oh, rats and other things, from if the stories are to be believed.
This is just the stories.
Oh, don't worry, you'll be fine. He just kind of, like, grins at him evilly.
And the 3 of you notice that your much more muscular companion and his eagle are nowhere to be seen. As you hear faintly echoing off of the tunnel walls the sound of an eagle screech, and your companion Yavo's voice shout out,
"Hey! Did you guys see Nunu go this way? I think he went this way. Hold on."
Where is he going?
I suppose we should follow him, right?
I mean, do we even know which way he went?
No, I was face down in sewage.
Maybe we're better off without him, because he was the one that killed the guy.
Oh God, I was hoping that was just part of a bad dream.
No, it definitely happened. A guy definitely died.
Oh God.
We need to find my family. They can explain this away and get me out of trouble. You guys, I don't care. You can go to jail for all I care.
Oh dear. Ricket stoops down to pick up his wand and his spellbook.
It is soggy, wet, and has a very odorous substance smeared across the front of it.
Ricket is going to kind of wipe it away with his little hand and clutch his soggy spellbook up against his chest in a way that is comforting to him.
As you clutch the spellbook, much like you would a oversized teddy bear, the three of you hear the faint splashing of footsteps echoing from in front of you.
Is that Yabo?
Does it sound like more than one pair of footsteps?
Yes.
I think that's more than just Yabo.
Is it the guards?
I don't know, but I don't think we should stay here.
Is there anywhere to go that's not in the direction of these footsteps?
No. Narratively, for some reason, there doesn't seem to be.
I pull my loot around front. It is just a normal loot. It's got some inlays of gold. It's lacquered, stained in a dark wood, and ready, my fingers on it to play something to get these people away from us. If they happen to be bad.
I pull a dagger from my side with a nice polished white handle and kind of ready myself, kind of crouching in a way to try to get in as much shadow as possible.
Ricket hides behind his friends and his poop-covered spellbook.
Ew. Can you back up another step or two?
Sorry.
I take a few steps back.
So, you see what looks like Will Smith from the live-action remake of Aladdin. I'm just kidding.
I like it already.
Perfect.
He's wearing chinos, not khakis. I'm sorry. And I say everything about this person who's running up makes sense for the time and the place that he's set in, except for a black cowboy hat. And it might confuse some, but that's kind of what you're rolling with.
You see this owl person like kind of swooping down, coming to like a really rough landing, and she kind of stands up and gets her ground. Very muscular, wearing dark clothing, and you see that she has like a bow, like I don't know exactly how it would be like strapped on, but
A hand crossbow is like a pss, pss.
Okay, well,
if you want a bow, we can make it a bow.
No, it's
a
fine.
hand crossbow looks like this.
Oh yeah! What the hell, Christian?
Why do you just have a hand crossbow?
She has a hand crossbow in her hand. Ha, obviously. and she's very muscular, athletic build.
And lastly, but certainly not least,
You see a tall, skinny woman. You see this woman with pointy ears and an ivy-type flower crown on her head, and then she has a green long dress of sorts and green knee-high boots with long sleeves, and everything is very nature-oriented, and she seems very comfortable and at peace.
Vartosh, like, sees them come around the corner and then, like, stands up straight, walks straight up to the owl person. Oh, good, you're here. These two are murderers. Please arrest them.
End of episode. Thanks for listening to this episode of Misconceptions Cross Sins of the Father. Episode 2 of this crossover series will be released on March 8th over on the Sins of the Father feed. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter if you have either of those social media accounts. You can also email us at misconceptionspod@gmail.com. And also, we have a Discord. If you would like to chat with us directly or chat with other fans of the shows, you can click that Discord link in the show notes to join our Discord. This show is fully supported by the generous monthly donations of our patrons on Patreon. You can click the link below and give any amount to help us reach our $500 a month amount. City of Mist is an RPG by Son of Oak. You can find more of their products at sonofoak.com. The Misconceptions theme music was composed by Aaron Wharton. You can find more of his music at aaronwharton.net. Misconceptions is a product of the Misconceptions Podcast Network. And that's it for this week. Jackson will be greeting you next week with the next episode of this crossover series. Have a good one, and keep it nerdy, y'all. Who you might know. Gross. Please, Marlo, cut that out. Oh, God, it smells awful. Marlo. Oh, God, my burp. It's in my face. Oh, it does not smell good. Let me take this again.
Oh, God, that was meaty. No.